live from the shores of Lake Erie at our Menor Lagoons outdoor studio. This is the Morning Smack. Hey, good morning, my little smackers. Bob Gray with you here today. On today's show, we've got a good one. Every now and again, it's great to have a hometown guy from a small town that ends up going to his major league team that he followed as a child, becoming an executive for that team. And I've known this guy since he was 9 years old. He was just a wee lad. So I'm going to introduce you to my good friend, Curtis Danberg. Curtis, thanks for being on the Morning Smack with us.
Great to be with you finally. I'm glad we can make this happen, and happy 4th.
Yeah, well, thank you. Today's Gray Fest, big day here.
Big day.
Down at the Menor Lagoon studio. But you are the Vice President of Communications and Community Impact for the Cleveland Guardians. You grew up in Menor, Ohio. I met you when you were 9 years old when I was a thespian, Menor Drama Club, and you used to come to the rehearsals and the play. And now you're a big shot over there with the Tribe. Not the biggest shot, but you're on your way. This has to be a dream come true for you.
100%. I grew up, my dad took me to games as a little kid. I had so many memories going to the old stadium. And when I was at Menor High, I was telling everybody I wanted to work for the Indians. That was my goal going to college, went to BG. And first week on campus, I told my professor, I want to work for the Cleveland Indians. And Dr. Janet Parks gave me a lot of great advice and said, you need to get experience. And I took that to heart and ended up working 4 years in the SID department. And that launched my career, really. And I went to the Buffalo Bisons, did my internship, AAA team for the Indians, and networked my way in. And have been here ever since. This is my 28th season, believe it or not.
28 years. Wow. You were just a wee lad when you started. And, a lot of people don't realize to get into the sports field, sometimes you have to do an internship or go to a minor league, get your feet wet. You got to do everything from get coffee to, take score sheets down or lineups. It's an interesting, but once you're in. And there's so few of these jobs that you're in an elite group, really.
And really, once I was in, I wasn't fully in. So my first year was unpaid internship in 96, summer 96. My buddies called me George Costanza, like Seinfeld. I was running and getting chicken pizzas for John Hart at the trade deadline. And then I was a paid intern in 97, a paid intern in 98. So I went 3 years post-grad as an intern here. Joel Gunderson left as the number 2 person in the baseball information department. And that opened a spot. I slid in, and the rest is history.
Now, with your job in communications, I know I'm a member of the media. Sometimes I'm down there doing work. Tell us exactly what your job encompasses, because I know you can get me a media guide in 2 minutes flat if I need one, but you're also the face of the franchise when it comes to publicizing events and things like that.
Yeah, so, it's evolved. Like I said, I started in the baseball information department, and then in 2005, shifted more to the business side where I was overseeing the website, and then the evolution of social media pops in 2010 and took over that. And then, ended up taking on broadcasting at that point. So pretty much we brought communications under one umbrella, and I was given afforded the opportunity to lead the entire group. So pretty much we have our tabs on anything that's happening in the organization, both on the field and off the field. And that's what makes it fun. There's never a dull moment.
You're the voice of I hear you on every radio station. You see you on TV. A big part of your job is promotion. And they don't got anybody else down there at the Guardians that can do that? You're the guy, or do you stiff arm them going out the door?
No. Bobby D's still in play, still does a ton of interviews for us promoting it. Austin Controllus does a lot of the TV interviews because that's earlier. So I've graduated where I have to wake up at 4 a.m. I just do radio. So it is a team effort we're trying to expand the brand and get butts and seats at the end of the day to come support the guards.
Now, your family has been involved with sports. It seems like it's multi-generational because now your son, who is at Ohio State, right?
Correct. He'll be a junior.
Yeah. He's making all kinds of headway in the world of broadcasting. He wants to be a sportscaster. Tell us about what this kid's doing, because I just think it's fascinating.
We gave him a ESPN microphone for Christmas when he was age 3, and he has not looked back. He's been exposed, obviously, around the game, and that's what he's aspiring for. Don't know where it's going to end him, what sport, but he has a passion for baseball, and he's over 150 broadcasts now at Ohio State, over 16 sports. He even did a regatta this spring. So he went saying, I will never use the word no. If I get asked to do something, I'm going to do it. And he's enjoying the summer at the Cape Cod League, spend the summer at the Cape, and broadcasting for the Cotuit Kettleers this summer and having a blast.
Wow, that is fantastic. That kid's going somewhere, because I see his stuff on Facebook, and he's always doing something kind of cool. I mean, he's ahead of his time for his age, that's for sure. And I guess it doesn't hurt to have a father that works for a professional franchise.
He's earning it, though. He works his butt off, and very proud of him. As an 8th grader, he started the broadcast network at Fairview Park High School, and hasn't looked back. And that was kind of the evolution of, digital, like what we're doing with the video podcast, like being able to, and right before COVID, that was kind of the launch of video broadcasting in high school, and he was ahead of the time in that regard. So that really helped propel his career.
Yeah, that COVID, kind of killed television for me. I was booked on everything that COVID hit, and
yeah, I know.
Half the crew now. One. Yeah, no, I know. So let's talk about the Guardians. That's where you're at. That's who signed your checks. Recently, there was a name change. For 100 years, they were known as the Indians, and I'm not going to get in trouble by showing this, but this is their old logo. Okay, that's what they used to be, and now they're this. Kabam, the Guardians. My question is, because no one's ever given me a great answer on this, I've never heard it at least. What was the thought process that the team had, the research, the studying, before they picked the Guardians? Did they go through a litany of different names? Were they market tested? Because you know how some people are in town, they'll never get over the name change. Most people have now, right? A lot of them have. The attendance is up. It's going great. But a lot of people wonder, why the Guardians, and why even change it at all?
So, I mean, why change it at all? I'll start there. So, obviously, we went through the process of, removing Chief Wahoo in 18 from our jerseys. It had nothing to do with the All-Star game. I'll throw that out there. But at that time, it's like we maintained the name Indians, and even ownership, felt we would not, move forward from that. So, moving ahead, 2020 happens, and everything that happened in the country, made us look at things differently. And we took a step back and said, hey, we're going to do focus groups and surveys and really dig into how does our community feel about our name. And it was pretty clear and evident at that time. And again, it wasn't everybody, but it was a divisive name that was not bringing the community together. And we were about uniting and inspire the city with the power team is kind of our motto and our mission. And we felt that the team name was not doing that. And so at that point in time, December 2020, we announced that we are going to change the name and start the process of figuring what the name was going to be. So that went into another, sector of the operation, and where we had a small group and started doing a lot of research. And unfortunately, you can't just say, here are 20 names we're thinking about. We actually started with 250 because the legality of it, people were squatting on names and trying to monetize it. So we went down the road of getting themes and finding out what are themes that fans wanted. They didn't want a ton of change. So they wanted to maintain the colors. They wanted to have a team that talks about loyalty and brings the community together. And at the end of the day, the Guardians checked every single box. We were able to work through the legality of it. And the other thing too, is we wanted to make sure that Northeast Ohio understood and was passionate about and supportive of Guardians. So outside of this community, nobody knew what the Guardians meant. They don't know what the Guardians of Transportation are right outside our door here on the bridge. And that was fine. We wanted to make this about our community in Northeast Ohio. And at the end of the day, very happy with the outcome because it checked all those boxes. Again, not everybody loves it, not everybody's supportive of it, and but it certainly helped winning 92 games last year and getting to Game 5 of the division series for people to hopefully get over that hump. So, but as you said, Bob, it was over 100 years of a brand that people were connected to, and change is hard.
It is. Let me ask you: was the name the Tribe considered when you went through your process?
It was.
It was.
In fact, early on in the process, that's probably the route we thought we were going to go. And as we learned, it was still too close. And again, didn't want to have to do this again in another 10 years and people pushing back on it. And it was a time for a fresh start. But again, fresh start in the name, but maintaining the integrity. I mean, Guardians and Indians, very similar with DINS, maintaining those colors. Those were themes, like I said, that our fans wanted, and we maintain that.
The Cleveland Bobs would have been a good name, I think, for me.
I don't know if that was one of the 250.
No. Yeah. I mean, there must have been names like the Blizzard or the Storm, or names like nothing weather related was in the mix.
Oh, there is weather related names. There's no question. Again, we leaned into the nautical and Lake Erie and looked at names like that. But at the end of the day, we felt strong about the Guardians and unique to us. And again, like I said, the bridge is right there. They're overlooking us and keep an eye on the Progressive Field.
Well, let's just say this and be honest about. Thank God they won 92 games last year in the first.
Oh my gosh!
Could you imagine if you won 50 games?
Could have scripted a better first year. We were very lucky in that regard.
You're darn right you were, because if you would have won 50 games last year, it would have been lights out for everybody, man. Holy cow. No, I know. So let's talk about this team. There is, like I said, that attendance is up 200,000 people from last year at this time, which is substantial. Hang on, I'm trying to find some things here for you. So, I mean, I think part of the reason that the team's doing so well is the caliber of players that you've got, and you've kept them here for a long time now. You got guys that are recognizable, that feel like they're part of the community. And the first guy we're going to talk about is this guy, because he loves it here. Check this guy out. Jose. Yeah. He signed that deal a couple of years ago. He actually literally loves it here. He said as much. I wish he would smile. I never see the guy smiling. He's always locked in. If you see him smile, that's an Easter egg. You got to take a picture of the TV when you see him smile. But he's very focused. And I mean, I know he doesn't look. I think he speaks a little more English than he lets on, but it's just so rare that a guy that's not even close from being from Ohio loves it here so much, is it?
No, he changed the course and direction of our organization. And if he doesn't go to owner Paul Dolan and say, I want to stay here, and willing to probably leave $100 million on the table, he's probably not here, and he's with a different organization. And that moment in time really changed the course, like I said, and propelled us to those 92 wins. And trying to do the name change coming out of a strike, and we lose Jose Ramirez, that would have been devastating. But that didn't happen. He chose to stay here. He's the heartbeat of this team. And you know what? I give him a lot of credit, because he realized he had something special here. He wasn't looking for the end goal of all the money in the world. He felt comfortable here. He loves Cleveland. And, we partnered with him to get a turf field in his name. And there's things like that were more important to him than the almighty dollar. And he's a special player. I mean, he gives it all every single day. And like you said, he's always intense because he wants to win. And he really is the lifeblood of our team.
And you know what? You got him when he was, 16 years old, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's known nothing but Cleveland since he was 16 years old. So I guess, once you get your foot in the door and you're rooted, you're comfortable and people love you, why go in here? I mean, look, we've had other players recently that have gone to different towns that aren't feeling the same amount of love that they felt here. And probably there's a little bit.
He saw that firsthand. And he doesn't want to be the face of a franchise and be the one that's doing all the media interviews. That's not him. So he felt guarded, and we allow him to be himself. And we don't put him out there as the face of the franchise from a media standpoint. He does his thing, and he does it on the field, he does it pretty well.
Hey, for those of you just joining us, we're talking to Curtis Danberg, VP of Communications and Community Impact for the Cleveland Guardians, and we're delighted to have him on the show. You know, another guy that I really like. That the jury, for me, the jury was out on him the first couple of years, but man, this guy has come on strong, and he's a wild man. People love seeing this guy, and that's push it, Josh Naylor. Look at him; he's crazy looking,
intense.
Yeah.
He is a gamer. He's such a character, and now he even has his brother on the team, and he has so many sides to him. But at the end of the day, just like Jose, he wants to win, and he's a competitor, and he drives that team to victory.
He's having a heck of a season. He should be an all-star, that's for sure.
And we're keeping our fingers crossed that maybe somebody has to bow out on the AL roster and he gets in there. But he's leading in RBIs, he's up there among league leaders, and batting average for first baseman. I mean, has better numbers than Vladdy Guerrero Jr. right now. So he deserves to be in there, along with, we talked about Jose, and of course, Emmanuel Clase leading the league in saves is an all-star too.
And now we got another guy that's going to be interesting as we get closer to the trade deadline, whether we keep him or not. And that's Shane Bieber. He's an all-star. He's a Cy Young Award winner. He's a really good pitcher. Now this year he hasn't gotten help in the outings he's been out. He's pitching way better than his record shows by far. And I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I'm sure he is inquired about quite frequently.
I'm sure I stay out of those conversations, but we're very appreciative of everything that Shane's done on the field and off the field. His wife Kara is very, very community centric. They do a ton in the area, and he's a big arm, and we're hoping to have him at the front of the rotation for as long as we have him.
Yeah, no, he's a stud for sure, and he's just solid game after game after game. Like the other day, they pulled him out, right?
I know. Numbers can be deceiving sometimes. That's why, at the end of the day, especially wins, losses,
Well, I mean, so let's ask about the manager, Terry Francona. How's he feeling? What's going on with him?
He's better. A little scare in Kansas City. Spent a couple days in the hotel room, but he returned to the team in Chicago, and he talk about lifeblood. He's right there with Jose. Just think of, the number of winning seasons. They only had one losing season, and we're 80 and 82. So he's been the leader among leaders. He should be and will be in the Hall of Fame, I should say, once his managerial career is done. But we need to give him a title here in Cleveland. That's the goal, and I know that's what they're all trying to do.
He's the heart and soul. Every time I cover a game, and I see Tito, the friendliest guy on the planet, down to earth. Honestly, I've known some coaches or managers that have been total pricks, that don't want to deal with the media, don't want to be friendly, don't want to be courteous and nice. I've never seen that with Tito ever. He's always polite, treats everyone with respect. He's a gem. He's
special. And you know what? He knows which buttons to push for the most part. I mean, no manager is perfect, but he believes in his leaders. He believes in his players, and he believes in the notion that at the end of the day, end of the season, your player card says what it is, and your stats will work out. So he gives a lot of rope for the players to get over slumps and things like that. And a guy like Ahmed Rosario, we've seen that. He's starting to heat up again, and he is loyal, and that's what the players love about him.
Yeah, he's totally loyal. He drives his scooter in. Had a little trouble. The scooter got stolen, but they got it back, thank God.
It's always something.
And like Jose Ramirez, he actually loves this town. He played here. His dad played here. He spent a lot of time in Cleveland.
Yeah, he loves it. And the relationship he has with Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff is pretty special. And, people always said, you could have gone anywhere else, but he chose Cleveland, and this is where he'll retire as a manager. Will be in Cleveland. And
the thing a lot of people don't realize, he didn't sign a contract extension. He's got an open door policy. Yeah. Coach till you want. Yep. And I mean, where have you ever heard of such a thing where the coach isn't, I want another 5 years, I want another? Unbelievable.
No, it is. Again, we don't take it for for granted. We're enjoying every minute we have with Tito at the helm, and we'll ride it as long as we can.
Hey, folks, we're with Curtis Danberg, VP of Communications and Community Impact for the Cleveland Guardians. If you've got a question, send it to me on my Facebook. That way I can screen it. Because, I know some of you jokers. I'm not just going to read it cold. You're not going to get me. But if you have a question for Curtis Danberg, send it to my Facebook. If it passes the smell test, I'll pass it on. Maybe Curtis can answer that question for you. Curtis, one of the reasons that the Tribe is doing well in attendance is you guys are doing promotion after promotion after promotion, giveaways, $1 hot dogs, $2 beers, this, that. I mean, did you make a concerted effort at the beginning of the season and like, man, we're going to give away the house. We're going to, what you guys think about that at the beginning of the year?
Well, we saw an opportunity. We saw an opportunity coming off the season we had last year to play off the momentum. So we wanted to be a little bit more aggressive and have a lot of fun. And over 50% of our games have some sort of promotion tied to it. And we've been doing great promotions forever, fireworks and jersey giveaways, but we wanted to ramp it up a little, especially from a value standpoint, from a ticketing standpoint. So we the birth and the evolution of the ballpark pass, $49, has been a huge success for us in driving that increase in attendance, where $49 gets you into every game, standing room only ticket. You opt in for month by month as you go, and we're going to be sold out again for July. We have I think we're nearing the end here, but my guess is here by the first pitch today, we'll be sold out again. But that's been one thing. And then also ticket offers, whether it's when the Yankees were in town, we made the entire upper deck $11 for Jose Ramirez, or playing off Josh Naylor's 8th inning heroics, $8 off for a ticket offer. So again, being more aggressive to get butts and seats and to get people here to support the team. And the energy level has been awesome. And we're have our second sellout tonight. We're going to be, speaking of promotions, we're giving away the Hawaiian shirt giveaway.
Yeah.
Along with $1 dogs and $2 beers pregame, as well as fireworks. We even have Straight No Chasers going to perform before the fireworks show. So again, we're throwing the kitchen sink to make sure that people recognize it's a great place to be and a great value. Now,
what other promotions do you have that you're all excited about going the rest of the way? We're at the halfway mark. I saw something, a Jose Ramirez hat with a bunch of little Jose's on it.
So Saturday night,
hey, you better save me one of them hats, man. That's a cool hat.
It is a cool hat. It's a bucket hat. It's reversible. So you can go all Jose faces, or you can just do the traditional navy blue with the Diamond C logo on it, courtesy Progressive. So that's going to be a great giveaway. And again, we've got a bunch of jerseys still lined up, bobbleheads. People love their free items. So
you got more $1 hot, or is it $1 dog night?
Oh yeah, $1 dogs tonight. We've got coming up this weekend. We have $1 dogs, the $2 beers. I think we call it pregame in the district, where as soon as the gates open, Bobby D coined this. I can't take it, but he calls it cargo short night. If you walk around the ballpark, you see a lot of males wearing cargo shorts so they can just put the $2 beers in their cargo shorts, and they're usually spilling and a little bit damp on the bottom of the short.
They got to get smart. They need to take like a balloon and stretch it over the end. Use your head. The financial value to your fan base, so much better. Like we were talking before the show, I lived in LA, and even if I got a free Dodger ticket, I was looking at $100 just to go. $9 dog, $7 beer, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's ridiculous. And what you guys have done is you've made it so easy for the average person that maybe doesn't have a ton of money to go see a game and have a good time.
Our friend Peter Knabb, who threw out the first pitch prior, he's on a quest right now, wheelchair bound, quest to be at 162 games this year. And he actually texted me over the weekend, said, for the price of me buying the ballpark pass the rest of the year was the cost of buying 3 tickets at Wrigley Field this weekend. And people don't understand. It's a great example, though, of the difference between a small market team and big market team. And why can't we have a $300 million payroll? It's because they're on a different level from a revenue standpoint. Fans don't understand that, and we don't ask them to understand. But like you said, everything you saw in LA is completely different than Cleveland. And at the end of the day, it's about revenue and expenses, and they have a lot more revenue coming in.
Well, I mean, think about it. In Los Angeles, you go to a Dodger game, and it's like a who's and cavalcade of celebrities in the first 5 rows. Magic Johnson, this guy, studio execs. It's crazy. Those guys got the money. They don't care if they spend 100, 500, or $1,000 at a game. They don't care. That's a nickel to you and me. But so it's a different animal altogether. And you're right. It's hard to understand unless you've seen both sides of that coin and why. So, wow. If you're just joining us, again, Curtis Stanberg, Cleveland Guardians. And by the way, don't forget our sponsors, Cheelicious Pizza, the Red Hawk Grill, Lake Laser Engraving, Great Scott Tavern, Great Treasures Warehouse, and Embers Fireplaces, Ben Holt. Did you go to school with Ben Holt?
I did not.
Okay. He owns Embers, one of the greatest fireplace stores in the world. It's on Menor Avenue, right there by the Lowe's. Go check him out.
Great partners right there, yeah.
He does. So, all right. So we talked about your upcoming events. I also want to talk about how you first became me. I first became aware of you, and that was through your dad. Now, a lot of people don't know your father was in the Menor Public School system as a teacher.
Correct.
And he was also, I'm going to show you, he helped us out with Menor High School Thespians. And there he is at the bottom of the screen with the tie next to Joe Lorick. That was a play called 2 by 2, which you immediately knew about because you came to all the rehearsals and the performances. You were 9 years old. I was 83. I just turned 17. And there I am. I'm above your dad to the right a little bit, next to the girl, Sue Isaki, in the gold dress. I'm just to the right of her. And Curtis, look at all the hair I had back then.
It's impressive.
That's an amazing amount of hair. I don't know if it's made out of fiberglass or steel. I mean, look at that. So your dad helped us out with Menor Thespians. He was the nicest guy. He did a few plays with us, at least during my run there. And he also worked with you at the Cleveland Guardians and Indians as basically an ambassador. And here he is, low five and a little guy coming across the plate. Your dad was with the team for how long?
23 years. He just stopped prior to last year. And, when you're a teacher and you retire at early 50s, you need to find a way to career shift, as we call it. So the back end of his teaching career, he started working here in guest services and being a fan ambassador. And it was a perfect fit for his love and passion for baseball and love and passion for people. And he would go track down the home run balls. He'd take goodie bags to fans, write first game certificates for people. And he took a lot of pride in that role. We certainly miss him. He's been here coming as a fan, but to do that for so long. And we said we called it a career shift. He shifted from being a health and phys ed teacher to being a fan ambassador here at Progressive Field.
Well, he also went down to Arizona for the spring training too. And it had to be great to be able to look out and see your dad running around there, because your dad has one of those, probably the most friendly personality you'll ever meet out of anybody. I still call him Mr. Danberg. I'm afraid to call him Rick. 57 years old. He's still Mr. Danberg to me. But he's the friendliest, nicest guy you'll ever meet. And now he's being honored this fall by Menor High School. He's going into the Sports Hall of Fame because this year he will be celebrating his 50th year as the stadium announcer. And there he is.
Yeah, he's very fired up, and certainly appreciate the Hall of Fame committee recognizing Dad after all these years. And 50 years is an incredible milestone. And for many years, the past 15, I think he's been traveling. They live on the west side now, traveling back to Menor every Friday night to do those games. So I know we're looking forward to it. Very proud of him and this accomplishment. And it'll be a fun way to go out as the voice of the Menor Cardinals by being inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Well, this is going to be my 5th year of doing the radio broadcast. That's a 10th of what your father has done. And those Hall of Fames are great. You and I were just at the one where Trubisky and
that was a great class.
Yeah, and Coach Triv and Krasancic and my good friend Joe Miller, who worked for the team for 37 years. Oh, by the way, Joe Miller wants your email address. Is that okay if I give it to him?
Absolutely. Love to
Yeah.
hear from Joe.
All right, I'll tell him to go to hell. Don't worry. No, I'm going to give it to him. You know what he's looking for? He's looking for game notes.
Oh,
And I'm like, well, I'm sure they have game notes,
we
Joe.
have game notes
Yeah,
every day.
he collects them all. He's a sports maniac, that guy. So yeah, your dad's going in. I was at the last event, and it is kind of a big deal. These Hall of Fames. I mean, you and I are both in the Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame. For whatever reason, I don't know why they gave it to us, but did you get one of those pointy trophies?
No,
What'd you get?
I don't know. I'm not aware of the distinguished. I'm in the Distinguished Hall of Fame at Bowling Green.
You're not in the Menor one?
No.
Oh, you will be next year because I'm going to nominate you. I can't believe it. Oh my God, I'm going to get off the phone as soon as I'm done with you. If anyone deserves to be, they put me in, man.
It's all good.
If they put me in, you should be. I'm going to make sure. Oh, I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm going to call her. Irene Carroll is her name. I'll be calling Irene.
It's all good, Bob.
Well, your dad's in at least.
That's the most important.
Maybe you'll get in the Indians Hall of Fame one day. Do they ever put front office in there?
They do sometimes, so we'll see.
That'd be nice for you.
We call it the Distinguished Hall of Fame here too.
Well, I mean, you've been there 27 years.
This number 28.
28.
So
I think if you get to 30 years, you should be automatically put in.
I hope.
Instead of
because
just.
I started when I was 10, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. And that's back when they were running kind of a sweatshop front office.
No.
When you were 10, you were sweeping,
Exactly.
stitching gloves back together. And,
no, this is a special culture, a special place, and very honored and blessed to be here. I mean, I met my wife here. She was in the corporate marketing department. So I always say that it's a fabric of my family between my dad working here for many years and son has grown up around here and he's been a bat boy and ball boy for since 2019. So yeah, it's been a good run for the Danbergs.
Yeah, it has with the Cleveland Guardians. I hate to bring this up while you're on camera and on the spot. I've applied for like 20 jobs over there and have yet to get a phone call. I'm starting to think maybe you're having something to do with this. Are you stiff arming me along the way?
I would never stiff arm you, Bob.
What do I have to do? Do I have to go to Buffalo and be an intern for 2 years before I can get in? I mean, I only worked for ESPN for 30 years and directed 20,000 hours of television, but not good enough for the Guardians, am I? Yeah, I get you every time with this, don't I? Every time
I see you, you bring it up.
You know what? Because I want to work with you guys, and one of the reasons I think you're this close to getting that World Series, you're this close, and just one thing or another, you could end up being in that World Series. Because I see you walk around with your American League Championship ring, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful ring. I can't imagine what a World Series ring would look like. I want in, Curtis Danberg. So you run over to Antonetti and say, look, this dude's ready.
Well, the good news is you're part of the family as a member of the Guardians Radio Network.
That's right. I am. Yeah, I know. All right, I'll get in sooner or later. Although, the only problem is I don't know if I can dedicate that much of my leisurely life to the Guardians.
You won't be able to spend as much time in that lagoon.
Oh, no. And I'm sorry you can't make it today. I know you got a game. But next time, I'm here every weekend. So next time they're on a road trip.
What does Great Fest entail? Like, what are the highlights?
All right. So July 3rd here in Menor Lagoons is when Menor Harbor Yacht Club, which is right over here, they do this huge fireworks show. And it's actually a bigger show than the city of Menor puts on. It's ridiculous. And so there'll be 7,000 to 9,000 people down here at the lagoons today. It's like when I wrap up with you, I'm running off. I got to go pick up more beer. I got to get the ice. I got to do this, that, and the other. And it'll be barbecuing. This whole yard will be packed.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's a fun time. And it's every July 3rd.
And you'll be listening to the Guardians game tonight, right?
Of course, against Atlanta. What's that? The 7:05 start?
7:10.
7:10? All right. Right after the anthem, 7:10 Guardians.
I like
All right. Well, you know what, Curtis? Nobody had a single question for you.
it. I answered them all from you.
That is,
Simple as
no, you're right. That's a sign of a very good interviewer.
that. Amen to that, Bob.
Yeah. So I ask the questions. They don't have to. And again, we've had Curtis Danberg from the Cleveland Guardians on with us. Don't forget to see our sponsors. Curtis, I want to thank you so much for coming out with us today. I
This
know
was fun.
you've got things to do like game notes and media guides and going to Antonetti to lobby for my new position. I mean, that's a lot of work. I understand. I feel
When
for
I
you.
woke up this morning, I did not think I'd see a picture from 2x2 in the early 80s. So
No, you know what?
that was
I thought I uploaded a West Side Story one. I guess I didn't. I'm sure you were running around West Side Story as well.
I was at the cast parties. We probably played Atari together, Bob, and didn't even know it at Mr. Lorik's house.
That's how long it was. Atari.
Pre
All right.
Nintendo.
All right, Curtis, save me a Jose Ramirez bucket hat.
You got it, Bob.
I've got my Guardians hat from the baseball hitting challenge you had me at. Looks pretty good.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's good luck.
Like it.
All right. We'll talk again, Curtis. Anytime
Look
you've got
forward to it.
something to
Thank
pin. And you know what? Let's get some players on because I can have up to 6 guests.
It's impressive. Your whole setup was very impressive. Well done.
Oh, well, I'm still learning. I'm just a boy. But yeah, no, thanks. All right, Curtis, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I'm sure the fans were able to glean some information because you answered some questions that people wondered about.
Good.
So thank you, buddy.
Appreciate you having me. I hope Gray Fest is a success. So hopefully we get a Guards win tonight. And like I said, happy 4th.
Thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, go Guards.
Curtis Stanberg, Cleveland Guardians. Had all kinds of great information for us. Nice guy from Mentor, Ohio. Small town, local guy. Make sure I get him in that damn Hall of Fame. That's for sure. All right, folks. You've been watching the Morning Smack. I appreciate it. We'll be back. Hey, you know what? Tomorrow there'll be a special live show from, I don't know who the guest is or if we even have a guest, but we'll be down there at the IGA Plaza because we've got the 4th of July parade in Mentor Headlands, one of the most majestic parades, the pageantry of the Mentor Headlands parade. It's unrivaled. There are going to be a lot of jean shorts, mullet haircuts, maybe even a bear or two. Anyhow, it's a lot of fun. No, it is a great time. I'll be down there in front of Lake Laser Engraving, and there might be some Bigfoot merchandise. Come by the table. You might be able to get some new and exciting Bigfoot merch. All right. So until tomorrow, have a great day. I love you. Stay out of jail because I am out of here.